All right, welcome back to another episode of The Hangover. We're accompanied here by Derek, the owner of Movement Fitness, and
So guys, Random Rob.
Brandon Rob, and I'm Chef and Crazy, of course. Yes, sir. Yes,
He's
sir.
laughing at my name.
Random Rob. Hey, he's random though. He be going on tangents.
DP. DPMX.
That's funny.
This part, I want to get into your car collection. You've had some dope cars. Give me off top of the head. I know it's not fair, but your top 5 favorite cars you've owned.
Yeah. All right. So my favorite all-time car was a 1994 Acura Legend. It was the first. It was the first nice car. Like, you know, I had beaters, but I had an Acura Legend. I had some 20-inch Momos on it. Right. Car was clean. It was champagne, tinted just right. It was good. It was probably one of the nicest cars in Rhode Island at that time. I say it was. I actually tried to replicate it one time. There was a '94 Legend for sale locally, Forest Green, and I bought it. But it wasn't the same, right? It just wasn't the same. But I bought it like anyway, and it got totaled by someone else. But that was like, that's like all time favorite.
Yeah,
I know it's years, like it's nostalgic for me, because that was the first nice car I had, and I cleaned it every day, vacuum every day I would clean.
That was your baby.
One of the scariest cars I owned was my Ferrari. Was the Spider I had, the 48 Spider.
It was a white one.
When you it was convertible too. Man, it was nice. It's really low. Your knees hurt all the time. And it's awesome when girls would go on a date. You get out of the car and so you like how they get out. So that was a fun car, but it was scariest because one time I took the traction control off it and I just got on it a little bit and it spun like white knuckles. I never. So they tell you, like at the dealership, these are the levels. Like leave it in sport mode,
right? And
then after sport mode, like ABS, the only thing that you have is you and the ABS.
Wow.
And I tried it and never again. One time.
So you gotta respect that car.
Yeah, and my rate was always like special because the
stars on the roof.
Stars, yeah.
The
Stargazer package, right?
Yeah.
So that was a nice one too. But man, I've had almost everything, like every Benz there was at the time. Yeah. You know, and my really first nice Benz was I had a little buggy I Benz when I moved out here. It was like E320, but then I got an SL 500. That was
it was a convertible.
Convertible, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the old body, right?
Yeah.
And then after the old body, like next year, the new body came out. And we're at a stop sign. I mean, a red light, and these girls are on the side of us. And, you know, kind of flexing just a little bit. She's like, oh, you got the old one. So the next day, I traded in. I went and got the SL 600. That's all it takes. I'm so shallow. That's all it took. A girl to call me out, and I went and got an SL 600.
That's so funny.
The next day.
He goes to the stop sign. Where's this bitch at?
It was at the red light on Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard, coming out of like the Sahara. Early so 2000s.
Funny. Yeah, what was that transition like coming from Rhode Island to Vegas?
Oh, that's a great question.
So imagine coming from the worst snow to like beautiful weather, right?
Yeah.
You're just talking like April, right? So it wasn't too hot yet. It was real nice out. This is when Decatur was like just beautifully paved, right?
Right.
And like you got here and like it smelled different. Like the rain would trickle down to just a little bit and the smell in the air was better. Like life, like I don't know, I feel like I got like a reset. Like when I came to Vegas, like I feel like boom, and like my life started over, like a whole new life.
New life.
Something clicked on. Like when you're here.
It was just new. It was like new. Like I didn't know anyone. It was like new, but I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no kids at that point.
No.
Wow. Oh, that's great. So that's how you were able to do that jump. Just come out here.
Yeah, you gotta take your risk early.
Always been a little selfish with cars, and then I tell you, I had this was back when stereos were really. I don't know. I think stereos are still pretty big.
Yeah.
But you don't hear them as much, right? So I had this tricked out Escalade, but it was the one with the short bed, the EXT.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And loud as it could be, like woof 15s in the back for sub and just pounded, boom, boom. But I had 5 TVs in this little, like the TV would flip up. You put the head visor down, TVs in the head visor, the headrest TVs like in the headrest. And back then we used to get the DVDs and we would play the songs, like rap songs would play on the DVD and it's in the stuff while you're driving.
Oh, that's cool.
This guy Twin, who was a DJ out here, him and his brother, but Twin used to sell them and I used to buy them. that was like
When,
that was
when you moved to Vegas, how long did it take to experience the party, like the strip life, or was it easy to stay away from it, or?
No, it was right away.
Yeah.
It was it was right away. So imagine like you're coming from the smallest state in the country to like, Vegas, right? So I'm in an office with all new people, and they were introduced me to like, we not like. So it was a long stretch, or a 5-year stretch, where we used to go to nightclubs like every weekend. Like this is back when Rain was open, or like Ghost Bar. Ghost Bar's still around, but I think it's a different name now.
No, it's Ghost Bar again.
But back then, the best membership I ever had in this town was at the Palms. Palms, they had what they called a 9-group member. So this is before Playboy Club and the other tower had opened. So imagine walking into the hotel and everything's super busy. But because you were a member, like everything just opened for you.
Wow.
Nice.
Like never waiting like in a line. So I spent $2,000 a year, right, to get this, to be a member. So back in the day at Rain, they had skyboxes overlooked the dance floor up top. So I've hung out with some like Jada, some great people, right? Partied with them like in the skybox. One of the favorite was Michael Buffer.
Oh, that's cool.
The announcer. So back then, when you were a member, you had to pay $500 for the box, no bottle minimum. If you were just a regular person, it's $2,500 for the box and 2-bottle minimum.
Wow.
So every weekend, I used to reserve a skybox, and we used to hang out like at the Palms. That was the greatest.
Cool.
That was the greatest like time for me in Vegas in the early 90s.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Did you ever see any mob stuff, like mafia stuff back in the day?
Not in Vegas. No. Back home. But yeah, back home it's kind of
normal.
Yeah.
Shit, back in the day, all the people reporting back to New York.
Yeah, back home is a little different, but not in Vegas, because I got here in like 2000.
Yeah.
So I think it was
true.
kind of like an end of a lot of things here.
Everything turned into suits, corporate. Yeah.
But the nightlife has always been, like I think I get jaded, right? When you go to other places, even to this day, when you go to places like, oh, this is horrible. Like you still use, even though you don't go out 2:00 at night to go to a bar, right? You could, right? So when you go somewhere like on vacation, like, oh, everything's dead. Yeah. But you're gonna go to bed anyway, right? So just you get jaded a little bit with living here.
As far as traveling, was any favorite places you've been to?
Yeah, like I love South America.
South America.
It's just it's just laid back, serene. Like you hear music, Latin music playing, right? The weather's nice. It's just the ambiance, the whole vibe, right? Like you never feel stress or pressure. Right. You just feel at peace, right?
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I go down there.
Are you more like a city guy, or you like to be around beaches? City?
Yeah, no, I like the beaches. I've been to Rio. I was at Rio. I brought in the New Year's there in 2020. So I was there 2019 for like I don't know, like 3 weeks almost, and literally at the beach every single day.
Rio's huge, huh?
Every day. It was. So the funny thing was the song Ipanema by Frank Sinatra kept coming on the radio, and so I said, as soon as I got to Rio, I said, we got to go to Ipanema. So we went from Ipanema down. Like we never made it to Copa because it was still pretty bad, like as far as for tourism going there, right? Yeah. But I tell you, I got to the beach at like 10 o'clock in the morning, not a lot of people, right? By noontime, like people were on my towel. And I'm talking, the beach goes for miles. Yeah. Miles of beach, and the people were just like, if you went in the water, you had to honestly like try to find your towel. Someone had to stay at the blanket to go in the water just to cool off. It was that many people.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was beautiful. It's just there's nothing like water. The ocean is by far probably the greatest.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Any? Do you like Europe at all? You been to Europe?
No.
I'm not a Europe person. I don't really care for Europe either.
Yeah.
When you have when you have the time, right? Like you do it, right? So for some reason I didn't have time, and then when the pandemic hit, I had time, right, to go do some certain things. But everything was closed down. So then you get back to the grind of life, and I would love to.
How long did you have the Spider for? That's the Ferrari.
Like a little over like 2 years, and it got totaled. The funny story is I got pictures. So I had the Maybach too. You weren't around for that one. I had the Maybach, and I was leaving to go home, and I got T-boned by a Tesla. Right? The guy got out of the Tesla, jumped out. Like I guess I got the scar on my nose from the steering wheel. Nothing serious had happened. He got out of the car just like nothing in the Tesla, and I'm like, I'm still kind of in a daze. And he's like, man, you in a red light. I'm like, no, bro, I didn't. Right. So funny. Then fast forward, the Ferrari. I'm on St. Rose, going home, and this young kid just got the car plate, came up on the side of me, and a car pulled out in front of us. He jammed his brakes on and hit the side of my car. Totaled my car and his car.
Fuck.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So 2 major accidents, both done by Teslas.
Oh man.
Yeah.
On the Maybach and the Spider. Oh.
That's crazy.
The Maybach. The funny thing with that was, I used to be like, man, I should be in the back because I had the reclining seats on it. But my kids were always in the back, right? So
you were their driver.
Yeah, I was their driver, right? Take them to school. I was their driver and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good. It's just memories, great, just great memories. You know, everything has a little bit of. But that car had memories because I used to take the kids back and forth to school and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Imagine
awesome.
you dropped off in that, picked up in that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
But they were reclined out too, like wake them up. Hey, when you get out, school.
Oh, I had a question. It's fine. Are you ever? Did you ever get nervous? Like, because your kids obviously did grow up more blessed, right? Definitely than you, how you grew up.
Yeah.
So, did you ever get nervous, or you think like, okay, how do I instill this drive in my kids? Obviously, they're growing up different than I did.
I never worried about if they have drive.
Yeah.
I just knew like if they see me doing something, and they'll do it. If they see me being lazy, they'll be lazy. So the example, like I've always work hard, and I think that pays off because Alec does a really good job.
Yeah.
He's super punctual.
Yep.
Like that's one thing I always don't run late. Right, I never run late. And
Dude, when I was running late here, I'm like, shit, they're judging me.
No, but I don't run late. I think where that translates to like to them, like they're hard working and hard with school and like they're really dedicated. So I think if I was to be lazy, they would have been.
That's a great point.
You led by example the whole time.
Yeah.
Try
to, right? I mean, the best you can.
For sure.
That's a great point. What about raising them in Vegas? Did that ever cross your mind, or is it like it just happened? It is what it is.
No, I lived here, right? So yeah, I think the only thing that goes through your mind a little bit, it was like all the billboards really provocative back then. There's actually one billboard that drives up and down the strip still that's been there since I've been here. So 25 years, same billboard, same girls, same everything, right? So I think Vegas does. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
These girls, just that where they hand you the card on the strip.
Yeah.
Right.
That, the card is, so I would think like when you have little girls, like you see that, commonly, but they never, really, got into any issues. They're still young. Like,
It goes back to you just leading by example.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, because as young men grow up in Vegas, man, it's been really fun. I got myself in a lot of trouble.
I can imagine.
Now I deal with a lot of shame and regret, but you look back like, all right, it is what it is. You had fun.
You're married though. You got a great marriage. Great wife.
Yeah.
Family. Great friends. You guys. I mean, I admire that truly about you guys. You guys are always together. You guys always have great stuff, parties, and get-togethers. And it's always a bunch of people that are always happy.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a bunch of I've been with friends where the bill would come and the alligator arms would come out and they'd be in the bathroom, right? But you guys, it's all like everyone is there to support one another and have a good time, right?
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
some people in Vegas, when I was doing it big, right, was always there for the fun. They're there to be a part of the party, not contribute to the party.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, we did get lucky with a cool community of friends. Sometimes we're just sometimes degenerates help other degenerates be more degenerates. Yeah. But other than that,
they enable each other.
Yeah, we're enabling each other. But we have been pretty fortunate as far as friends.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, so you grew up here, right? So it's like you do a lot of stuff and you have the same friends, right?
Yeah.
Like when I came here, I knew no one, right? And then I had my son and so forth. So has friends and he's doing his stuff. So hopefully when he's 32, close out, like he'll have these life experiences.
For sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to invite him out. So, but he gets a little nervous.
Who?
His son.
Oh.
Yeah, I think just because he has a little girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And she can't. She's not 21 yet.
He's barely 21.
So
gotcha.
I think he has that sense of like, if she can't go, I
He's a
can.
good kid.
Yeah, for sure.
He's kind. He really is.
Do you get is it interesting to see how different personalities from all your different kids? I'm saying like you have 10 kids.
Yeah. No, from the three of them, they
Yeah.
all have, they're all super different, right? All.
Growing up, what about you have 2 brothers?
One
brother.
brother, yeah.
Are you guys pretty different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made a difference.
I don't know if this is too personal. I was going to ask you, did you grow up with your father?
My dad wasn't around. My dad was an
Oh.
alcoholic and just wasn't around. We grew up with my mom, and she got remarried when I was like 11,
Yeah.
12. So he passed away in like 2011. But he honestly gave up on life. From what I can see, he was pretty.
Wow.
He was like 63. I think he quit and died. Right? Like we don't have quit.
Yeah.
So I want to live longer. Right? Just
For sure.
want to do better and be better, and seeing him go through his struggles. I think this is a life lesson right here, is the gift to forgive. So because my father was never around, I used to have this like anger towards him.
Mm-hmm.
And someone had said to me one time, it was like, well, you don't know what he was going through when you were going through it,
Yeah.
right? So he went to Vietnam. He did he was in war. He drank.
Oh,
his
really?
his dad had passed away young, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so selfish, right?
Right.
I was only thinking about me. I didn't think about him until later on. So
Mhm.
I found forgiveness for when your parents pass and you have this attitude like I wish I would have did this.
Right.
I don't have that because I found that forgiveness in him when I was older.
Wow, Derek, you broke the cycle.
Well, I
think
guess
you broke it. You broke it. That's freaking impressive,
yeah,
dude.
forgiveness
Story of two
is
brothers.
the key to a bad relationship. Is because someone has hurt us at some point in our life, and taking responsibility for the relationship and finding forgiveness, I think, is really what changes you in a human being.
Yeah.
To actually have empathy and
Mhm.
not because hate is love and hate
Yeah.
they both take equal
Yeah.
amounts of energy, right? So
Mhm.
why hate when you can love someone, right? And
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
not having forgiveness for your dad or for your mom, is I don't know what other people had gone through, but I know I found that forgiveness. So I didn't grow up exactly. He was there for a little bit with baseball and football, but if it wasn't sports, he was at the bar.
Was this before or after you had your own kids?
He passed in 11, so he was back east when I was here. So I was already here for 11 years, and my son was really young, and my daughter was my daughter was born in like 07, so a couple years after. He never met his grandchildren.
Wow.
Mm.
Damn.
I never took them back east.
Yeah. Yeah, you really did break the cycle because your grandpa died from alcoholism.
Yeah, he was young. He was like 49 and died in his living room, sleeping on the couch.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and my grandmother never got with anyone ever after that, and she had other sons, and my grandma actually buried like 3 of her sons,
Whoa.
before she had passed. So how difficult was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that like East Coast kind of like rigid kind of like alcoholism kind of thing. It hits a lot of families.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I think it's a struggle, nowadays too, but not really around it to know,
Yeah.
right? So
And like you, and then Derek's gonna live till he's 105.
Yeah, all the biohacking.
I'm trying.
During this
want
we're
to.
gonna be cold pledging.
Yeah.
Get my walk around and jump in the pool. Hopefully by then they'll have one you can just walk into.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have those, the crowd therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he knows all about that. They're harder to do.
Oh, for real?
Long story short, you need a physician to do cryotherapy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, for that, for like even for like hyperbaric chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go like South America, you can go do a hyperbaric chamber every day, right? And I like it because it stretches you out, like it makes you feel like decompressed.
Yeah.
But over here, you have to get a prescription, and then you have to go find one.
Jeez.
I don't understand, but
Yeah,
it's just hyperbaric.
FDA makes everything impossible over here.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. We're hoping with the RFK Jr. He lifts some stuff up.
that's my hope for a health club too, right?
Yeah.
People get a little more conscious about working out. I think all
Yeah.
the dust needs to settle with what's going on now, but I think in a year and a half, I think we'll start looking and realize that, like, hey, let's get healthy. Let's make America a little more healthier. Just
Right.
moving a little bit. You don't get a gym membership. Just go walk around your local track,
Yeah.
your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just walk. As you get older, go walk. Don't be so
Yeah.
so setting where you come home from work, you just lay on your couch, fall asleep, get up, do it all over again, right? You have to add some type of
put some movement in your life.
Hey.
Some movement in your life.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah. Besides the cold plunging, are there any like other biohacks that you've implemented into your life, or routine, weekly routine, daily routine?
Yeah, like some BCAAs or some methylene blue. I've been doing that recently because that's really
that's big.
That's good for cognitive awareness.
Yeah.
The sea salt, the Baja Gold salt, a little bit of Baja Gold salt, like even put it like on your food, like your chicken or something like that.
Yeah.
Makes your chicken taste even better. It has a nice little flavor, and it's good salt for you.
It's
good
great
minerals.
sodium. Huh? Yeah,
it's good minerals, right? So it helps put minerals in your body.
Yeah. Well, that's like the pink Himalayan salt, kind of.
So you have pink Himalayan, then you have Baja Gold, right?
Yeah.
So it's a slight difference, but it's I think the Baja Gold is a little. They say it's a little more natural as far as the salt.
Dude, the blue methylene stuff is fascinating because it started off as just a blue dye for like food and drinks, but they started experimenting on it. And it's done studies to realize it's so great for the nervous system.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Inflammation for your gut.
Yeah.
There's this guy on Rogan recently. He's a neuroscientist, he's something in the neural field, and he was having seizures, and that's what prevents the seizures now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because the red and the yellow dye are bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's even more fascinating? If you do the blue methylene and then do it red sauna with it, the effects are even better.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, when you do red, blue interacts. It makes the blue more stronger for a reason when you interact with red sauna.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's some. I mean, and there's studies on this. It's not like it's
hundreds of studies.
There's a lot of studies on it. So sometimes. So I was a believer in like I don't want to take medication. Like you get older, like take this for cholesterol, take this for diabetes, take this. So I actually had a doctor like years ago because I wasn't always in really good shape because I worked and I was come home, had my son, so I was a little heavier. And I had a little bit of high blood pressure, a little bit of hypertension. And the guy just wanted to medicate me. So I asked him, I said, can I just eat better? And will it be better? He's like, nah, trying to slam me on medication. So I really went really hard, like diet, like eating better, like super clean. I got down in weight and all that stuff went away. The only issue I have a little bit is my genetic cholesterol is a little bit high. But that's genetic, right?
Yeah.
So I've been trying I wish I can get with Gary Brecker and sit down and go through all my blood work and tell me what I could do to get that better. But I haven't reached that level yet where I could sit down with him and find out because I really want to get my genetic cholesterol to a level because he says something like it's not your genetics. It's the kind of I was listening to what he was saying before. He was like, it's not your genetics the reason why you have high blood pressure. Imagine you live with someone who eats bad, you eat bad, you're prone to get the exact same thing that they have from habit, right?
Yeah, it's like part of your environment.
Yeah, so if you have to change some of your habits, can change some of the outcome of your health, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
So, and some people swear by the carnivore diet, like some people swear by other stuff.
Yeah, he loves the carnivore diet.
Yeah. I mean, you look great. You guys look great. You guys are in shape.
Yeah. Gary Becker. Do you know much about Gary Becker?
It's a familiar name, but
yeah, he's
not off the top of my head.
He's the guy that's pushing the hydrogen water stuff too.
Yeah, I have a hydrogen thing too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the one that got Dana White into shape.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Dana White, like right now, like I think he's 53.
And then he's big on the water fast.
Yeah. Every quarter, I do a 3-day water fast.
I did my first.
Water.
I did my first one in January. I lost like 8 pounds. It was hard, but it felt good.
Yeah.
It's a discipline reset is what it is more than anything else.
I'm trying to just get the 36 hours, right? Just 36 hours. I think that's where I would start.
Yeah.
We're gonna do March 31st.
Yeah, April 1st.
I want you guys.
Huh?
I want you guys. I'll do it.
Let's do it.
I get committed. There was a competition on this. Like,
yeah, let's do it.
I messed up because I was like 48 hours in. I went to the gym and I did sauna, and then it felt good. But after a while, I was like, oh shit, I'm still human. I was like, because I was still lifting heavy, and I was like, oops, you took it too far, buddy.
Yeah, we do that. We push.
Yeah.
That's what makes us different.
Yeah. I said this off camera, but this is what I love about Derek. A few years ago, we're deadlifting, and he just walks in like, oh, you guys are deadlifting? 405, gets it, boom, hits it. Like, okay, Derek.
What I think was, because Nate didn't think I would need. I don't think he thought I could do. I don't think he didn't think I could do it. But he didn't think I could do it cold the way I did it.
Yeah, because he's a trainer. Like he wants to make sure you're good at it.
Right.
But he got his camera out, and he was gonna he got the camera out for he can say, oh, like I didn't do it. So you put the camera on me, I'm doing it. Like there's nothing that's gonna stop me.
Yeah, it's on.
I pulled it up, I dropped it. I said, oh, what? My phone wasn't that great, so I dropped it. I picked it up again. I'm like, is that good? I dropped it down and I walked away.
It makes sense though, because in emergency situations, you're not gonna be able to. Hey, let me warm up real quick or something. If you gotta hit it, you gotta hit it. Whatever the situation is. Yeah.
But I did it. I with deadlift, I that's all form. So for me, I had to get mental.
Yeah.
I'm like, drop, lock, sit, pull. Right.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, drop, lock, sit, so your butt's low, and you pull.
Yep.
And you pull through your glutes, your thighs, and like that way you get no injury.
Yeah.
Right. But like now, like there's no deadlifting, there's no squatting with the bar like on my neck.
I don't even do that now. Yeah.
There's just no need to compress your spine.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
How long have you been into fitness? Is it something that you've always done, like while you were doing your career, or is it something that you found later on?
No. So when I was younger too, so I was like 200 pounds, like 6% body fat. I was big, right? So I mean, 20. I got a picture when I was 22.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see like I was big. I was working out like at like
cool.
in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
But I always had like funny was when I have like an accountability buddy back then, we always go to the gym, and then when he didn't go, I didn't go, right? So then you fall off a little bit, and then football season would come around. Even though we played like backyard football, we actually played competitive background football like back east. So every Sunday we would play football, and it got competitive. We would travel and go to different cities, like play in Pawtucket, play in Johnston, right?
Yeah,
so we had like a little travel team, and we won, right? So I was always in shape for backyard football. So I lifted, I did everything I could to be stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that started young.
Yeah, because there's always a correlation between people who go to the gym and successful entrepreneurs. Is you go to the gym not to only work out your physical, but your mentality as well. Yeah. So you always see a correlation between a lot of successful guys where they work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I come from the Ocean State. That's the state is the Ocean State is what they call it. Like we have the Garden State is Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so in the summer you go to Scarborough Beach, you had to have no shirt on. Right.
Yeah, so if you have a shirt on, you're a weirdo almost.
You gotta look good, right? So you're young, right? Pulling up to the beach, you're popping out, and it was a great time, man. It was definitely some great times, like growing up, like on the beach or doing stuff like jumping off like the Narragansett Bridge. You go jump off the bridge into the water, like we had rope swings you get on, and
how far is New York City from your town?
It was about 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like our Cali, huh?
Yeah,
our LA.
Like LA.
Yeah, good 3-4 hours.
As far as gym, what's your typical regiment nowadays? Like week to week, as far as working out,
every
cardio,
day.
Every day.
Every day. So like I may not lift like one day, but I'll definitely do 45 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
I'll walk every day. So after I work out, I walk at least on an incline on 4.
Yeah.
Inclines I'm on like 6, and I'm just like getting 45 minutes in every day.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I think the cardio is important for me, like have that lung capacity or just keep pushing, right? Like who doesn't want to have energy? Like I want to have energy.
For sure.
Yeah, you'll lose if you don't use it.
Yeah.
And it's great because he's on the cardio, so he sees everybody walking in, so it's great. He's greeting everybody while he's still getting his work in.
Cool.
Yeah. It works out. I love that gym. I'm literally there every other day too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I especially love the turf side. And it's cool too because shout out to Reggie. He's an older gentleman trainer, but he has some legit athletes. So it's cool to see. He has like some MLB guys, and then he has like some baseball guys. Yeah, he trains Devin Haney.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but so it's cool. It's very motivational too. You see some people killing it, so it just makes you want to push more.
That guy has all genres. He has from the housewife to the young athlete all the way to the professional. So you see it all day. So in the morning from 8 o'clock in the morning to like 9 o'clock at night, like he probably has like 38 people that check in per day. So he's probably one of the most busiest trainers, right?
Yeah.
But it's all genres. It's not just like athlete dominated. It's everything, right?
Yeah. You can tell he's been around for a while. So
it's everything.
He has a great network.
Yeah, on the business side, dealing with other competitors like EOS, OVAC, how do you deal with churn? Because that's like the biggest thing in reoccurring like revenue is keeping people around. So like what's like,
So we reached a point where like we haven't changed our membership pricing since like 2022.
Yeah.
So what we did was we knew like our price point, we needed to be at like $45 a month at the minimum.
Yeah.
And so that would be for like a 12-month. But someone that was only there for month to month and they just canceled in 30 days, we did $59.95. So I think the benefit on what we do is one, like, I think we're at the height of the market for the area like that we're in,
Right.
where people can still come for a good workout. Most people that are coming in there now, they're either coming from one of those big box gyms to come in and work out here. So for me, it's more about quality of workout and not quantity of people, right?
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
if I all of a sudden had 200 people in there at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday, they would leave. They would go find a smaller, something different.
Right.
So because our price point is where it is, it's not an expensive price point. You're not paying personal trainer points, but $59 a month is inexpensive to get what we give, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
50 out to turf, and then you go in the dry sauna. You could take a shower. The showers, lockers, put your stuff in the locker. We have a juice bar. So again, we don't get into like, we don't ask trainers how much they pay. I mean, how much that they charge. My model is I don't get into people's business. So I say, if you're a member, you pay your fees on the first, the gym's yours until the next month, and then you pay next month, it's yours.
Yeah.
Right. So I look at it that way. So when we have trainers come in, we set a deal, they pay it. I don't bother them. Right. So for me, it's all about like the integrity and then setting the upfront, boundaries.
Yeah.
And then once boundaries are set, just manage the expectation. I think that's one of the biggest things where people don't do is I believe in anything that we do, we have to set a boundary, right? Because sometimes like people go way past them, or even I'll go past them with someone else, right? But if you don't have that boundary set and have clear expectations, that's where business starts going a little bit crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's important in any type of relationship. That's
For sure.
True. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, boundaries, man. Like, I'm sure you don't want to hear, I don't know, I can make up a million different examples, but some things you just don't want to cross.
Yeah.
100%.
But you want to help people get there, but there's just boundaries set.
Yeah, because it can get ugly if you're talking about business, just, personal relationships. You're right. Yeah.
For instance, right, trainers. So they have 24-hour access. So the gym opens at 5 in the morning, closes 10 o'clock at night, right?
Shout out to Jovi.
Yeah.
His ass be yelling at 3
Mr.
a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you the benefits of that, right? The benefits of that is that we don't get that migration in the parking lot, right? Because someone's in the building. So if we close at 10, 4 hours later, there's someone already there, right? So we don't get that like people in the park, right, loitering, like getting up, or we don't have that. So that's what's really good about that. But again, so when a trainer pays their dues, it's their gym.
Yeah.
It's their gym. So if they want to come in at 4 o'clock in the morning and put a class on, they put a class on. But we only ask them one thing, is that when you come in, you lock the door behind you.
Yeah,
because 25,000 square feet, if you're on the turf side, you're not going to see the front door opening.
Yeah.
So the number one thing for me as an owner is safety.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not safety just for the members, but safety for the employees. Because you have an employee come in there and they open up and someone comes popping out of the bathroom and like that could be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So safety is number one. Two, like, don't get in people's business. Let them set a fair deal up front, say your expectation, and then let them do what they got to do. And then they'll stay another month. Like, I've had trainers there for over 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't get in their business, right?
Yep.
I don't try to train people. I don't, I just set a deal and just go. Like, usually you see me there every day. Like, it's kind of like, I guess I treat people the way I would want to get treated. So if I am a trainer, and imagine this for a trainer perspective. Imagine you can have a business without having all the BS that goes with it. So you have a business, you only have to get personal trainer insurance. You don't have to clean the bathrooms. You don't have to clean the turf. You don't have to wipe anything down. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You just come in, train, and leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's inexpensive.
Yep.
Right.
Inexpensive. Max Train, I think, pays like $800 a month.
Nice.
Right? But think about that, right? You can literally have a business. You could run a business inside of a business.
Yep.
That's how open-minded we are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say, well, you have 20 people. Like, you're charging this. I should get a percentage. I don't do that. That's not how we roll. It's completely, look at, this is the deal. So safety, fair deal, and give them and for the members and for the other people, setting a clean environment.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Clean environment.
I don't know if the numbers say so, but I feel like there's been an influx of new comers, like new gym memberships. And you run into people in the sauna or like passing by. You always hear like, dude, this is way better than like these big box gyms. Like I can actually go bench when the bench is available. They love it. They love the atmosphere. Like they love how they love the environment for sure.
Yeah,
it's important.
You did a great job with that. Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And it's a great culture there.
Keep a lot of equipment, a lot of equipment, and then there's a big area where you can just run. Yeah. Right. So sometimes we have some like seniors will come in and they'll walk up and down the turf because it's too hot outside, so they'll come in.
Oh.
Yeah. And 50 yards is a lot. Yeah. Right. So walk up and down, and and no one's in anyone's way. Really respectful. Yeah. Trainers are respectful. Members are respectful, and like some of the classes that we have. For the kids, they're off on their own area anyway, right? Yeah. So they're in no one's way, right? Yeah. So it's nice to see, really young to really old. Yeah. Right? We have one woman who comes in her scooter, and she'll get off it and she'll do like the bike machine for her arms and stuff, so they get her arms going and so forth. And and we had a dear friend of ours. His name was Bruce, and he was a member there for a long time. He passed away, and I got we went and I was able to go to his funeral, and we buried him at the veteran cemetery. So, it becomes a family. After 5 years, we're seeing someone like 3-4 times a week. It's hard not to think of someone as it's like family.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's a great culture.
And there's always that person that aggravates you.
That's just life, man.
There's always that.
Work life anywhere. You can't get along with everybody. It's just impossible. No. It's just a matter of respect. That's all it is.
But we always have some. Was it big and tough and hard? I think if it wasn't, I probably wouldn't want to do it. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I think the test that I go through on a consistent basis is that it is difficult. Because you do have to keep, like you said, the turnover is real, right?
Yeah.
So that's always a frustrating point, and I'll tell you why. Because, when you have people that are constantly there, they're either leaving in this area. When we ask a question, if they own or rent, because the owner or rent is important, because people that own in that area, they've been in the gym for years. When they rent, it's a little more transient, right? So if they live on this side and then they move on the other side of town, right? I can't take it personal because, this traffic is starting to get real here. So they move to Southern Highlands or something like that. You can't expect them to drive 45 minutes. Yeah. True. But we had a lot of people for a long time that was doing that, right?
The time you waste driving, you save not waiting for equipment and stuff.
But that's one way that we look at it. But, when you sign up 10 people and you lose 3, I'm not gonna say that 3 doesn't hurt, because it hurts, right? It's not personal, but normally, we like to ask why, right? And normally it's relocating, and we offer favorable terms. Like, you can come there on a month to month and pay $59 and say, hey, I'm putting my 30-day notice in. They get 1 billing cycle and it's done, right? So it's awesome. Favorable, right? We don't make it difficult. I think we don't want to lock people into something that they don't want to get locked into. But some people grab the 24-month membership because it is only $44.95 a month, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's affordable, and they know these are people that work out. No one who does the 24-month doesn't work out at least 3 times a week. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the bang for the buck.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about the community and culture, seeing as how you went to his funeral. So it shows how much you care about the people that actually show up to the gym. Yeah. Yeah, that says a lot about you and, the gym itself. So that's big.
This guy, you could not have missed this guy. Every day, come in with a new joke, funny, old Detroit guy. He ran Keno on Las Vegas Boulevard for years. Old school Detroit guy. Yeah. And he was literally probably the funniest guy. Every day come with something. But he would sit on the bike. He'd read his book, right? Yep. Sit, go lift, come back, read. And every day, we'd go over there and and say something to him. He say something to us, and he was a great guy. And it just out of the blue, he just got sick and passed. Cancer riddled through his body and just went.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone becomes like a friend. People that want to have a conversation will, and people that don't want to, they'll just stick to themselves. But most people, they're really like, and we love to reshare them. Like when someone like does a story like at the gym, we love to reshare it, like just to put them out, just to put it on our storyline, right? So, it's been great. Like I met a lot of interesting people, some really good people. Right now we're trying to get into spin. Like we bought some spin bikes, so we're trying to really get spin going because I hear it's such a great really athlete friends of mine. They love going to spin because of the conditioning, but just the funness, I guess, of spin is really good.
Our good friend Melissa, she's in Sacramento. She loves spinning now.
For real?
Yeah, that's what she does.
It's
cool.
tough at first.
Yeah.
But then once they do it for a while, they love it. So we're trying to build a spin culture there now.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's cool. They have like kind of like a what do you guys call it? They got like night neon spin classes. So they put
you got a whole party in there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we have, like I said, we have a lot of Hispanic culture in there. So like when Nelfie is in there, she's playing Latin music and it's just going.
Sounds like a party in there.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like when you walk past it, it's hard not to. When they're dancing, like in the room, it's hard not to walk by there and look in and seeing what's going on because the dance studio is right on the front of the facility.
I'm good. So the sauna is next to the studio, obviously the wall. Sometimes the music's playing. If I'm in the sauna by myself, I start dancing.
Practicing for tonight.
I can see that.
The cool thing about a health club and a gym is like everyone that's there, they're there to better themselves.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
The whole culture itself is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what fitness is, right? Like mental and physical, right?
Yeah.
You have to be strong enough to know that you gotta do something, right? And you have to put the physical in to better yourself, right?
Yeah.
So look, even moving a little bit, you want to drop 10 pounds, you can water fast too, right? But you add a little bit of exercise, like with that, it stays off, so
for sure.
it stays off. And then it's just continuation, right? Like the older we get, the harder it is to lose, right?
Yeah.
So like I would tell you, like it was much easier in my 20s to get in shape than it is in my late 40s, 50s, right? So it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good thing about all this new technology and biohacking and stuff. It makes me excited for my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. Like, all right, it's up to you. There's no excuses.
Well, you're right, but there's a lot of people. It's like build a body, but you can do it. But the problem is like it's going to like you can do like lipo, but if you go back to eating like steaks, like if you go back to eat pizza like every day, unfortunately it's going to come back, right? So I think the long term effect is just doing a little bit of exercise.
Yes,
and it's not even like like think about it, 24 hours in a day. You can let's say I'm 7 days because I own a gym, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if you can put 30 minutes in
every
day doing a little bit of something, a little bit of something. You don't have to get a gym like membership. Go outside, right? Get some air. I know sunlight is great in the morning. Get sunlight first thing in the morning. Hydrate your soul with that vitamin D. Just get going.
It's
right?
It's a great catalyst too for like your body too.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys are on the fitness. I think it's important for everyone. Even you see a lot of younger people that are getting into it, and then you have older people that are looking to grasp on the longevity of life. And I see some people where the doctor said they're gonna get like into the gym, and they're well into like late 50s, right? And it's harder to get motivated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's harder because like you just don't know what to do. And sometimes people don't have the financial means, right, to pay for a trainer. So they go there and they look at a bench and like, damn. And I could tell you, because I talk to people, like one thing was like, am I doing this wrong? Am I going to make a fool of myself?
That
right?
self-doubt you were talking about earlier.
And then they give up.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of like, and ask. So I create the culture. I walk around, ask me. Like when people, they sign up, I say, just ask. We're all here. If you don't know how to use something, ask. We'll show you. No problem, right?
For sure.
Like we don't make routines, anything just like that. But so this is another thing I don't get what some people do is like, so we have a health club, we have a lot of people and we have trainers. How hard would it be for a trainer just to go up to you and say, hey, do you need a spot?
Yeah.
Hey, you could probably correct this, right? They may never be a client, right? But it's a way to like assert yourself into asking for the business,
Yeah.
right? In a non-dominant way, just helping someone, right?
Yes.
So, like, if you help someone achieve something, they're gonna ask you again, and you don't know who people are, right? So
Right.
you create a relationship in the gym, right?
Mhm.
Relationships and friendships are created, right, when you're doing stuff together.
So true.
So there's when you go to mindset, you think there's so many opportunities that you have when you're with someone on that physical level of just of exercise.
It's so true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I found this gym. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, people like you can go to a bar and have a good time, right? But it won't be a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It won't be a long time because you know, smoke and all that stuff, you know, it interferes with your health.
Only bar you need is the barbell.
Yeah. But, you know, like
that
was for a long time, you know, that's, you know, what you would see. So, very, you know, like this conversation, you know, it gives me all that, the hope and the drive that I need to be better tomorrow, but also to bring back into the health club, right? To have this conversation with other members or other people, right? So it's where it all starts.
That's cool. So I imagine every time you walk in the gym, like you were talking about earlier about how the previous part about setting the philosophy for the gym or the motto for the gym. So imagine every day you're there, just think, I don't know, but you're thinking about, right, what is the motto, what is the philosophy? Does that hit you every day, or?
Yeah. I think, you know, so I would be lying if I said that I'm not frustrated at least once, twice a day, because you can set an expectation, doesn't mean people are going to follow the expectation, right?
100%.
You can do stuff, but, you know, it's so, I mean, some days, you know, but you also have to remember the key is you don't know what they're going through, right?
Yeah.
So they could be a trainer coming in and low on their dollars and they're trying to, you know, so we have to give a cushion. And you know, I think one of the biggest things is, I think if you come from benefit of the doubt, like you got to give everyone in your life the benefit of the doubt, right? Because it's up to them to prove their own, like them wrong, right? But if I automatically come as like judge and someone, right? Nah, I give the benefit of the doubt. You want to be here. You want to lose weight. You care about, you know. So I think benefit of the doubt is another really important distinction when you're having conversations or even friendships, relationships, or even business. Benefit of the doubt. And I think that's a powerful one to come from too.
That's a great point. Yeah, because when you think of business and being an entrepreneur, you kind of think of like more like a killer mindset, right? Like just kill. But there's something to empathy.
Well, imagine like you go to your next stop and you already in your mind is saying, this person is not going to be ready. They're not going to have it done. I'm going to fall behind on time. All this stuff that's running like through your mind, and then you get there. And then it's on time. So you put all this unnecessary stress of ways of being right on that right there. You think, oh, now all of a sudden you go there, it's on time, it's delivered. Now all of a sudden you're sitting with this like little anger that you had that you worked yourself up to that never happened, right?
Wow.
It never happened, but I worked myself up enough.
The feeling's still there.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden then it just builds. It builds, and I see it a lot. I see it a lot like in myself, not just like not in like other people, in myself. Like I sometimes happens, you know. And again, it's life is it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So you know it's going to take a little bit of time, but every day practice every day to be a little better. Even with my son, like I've sometimes I get on him, but I had to take a step back and you know and communicate with them better. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, no one's, because I imagine someone like you, you're very A-type personality, you're very go-getter. So like you said earlier, when previous pod, when you were trying to run your own team, you expected them to be just like you.
Yeah,
but it's impossible for anyone to be like anybody else.
Yeah, you got to meet them where they're at.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's why like Alec, like my son. So it's the same thing. Like with him, right? It's not always gonna be how I want it, right?
Yeah.
But he's there putting all the time in, and members like him, like just like you said, they go up to him, they talk to him.
They love to talk to him. Yeah.
You know, he's a good kid, man. Yeah. I'm very proud to have him working together. Yeah. I tried to get him into the real estate business earlier, but I think that time he was younger, and now he's getting a little more matured. You know, like 22, so he's getting the maturity where he needs to be. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna do together in the future.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's fun. Hey, what about you, sir? Any other questions?
No, I'm just taking in all the leadership qualities he's kind of,
Yeah.
throwing out there. So I'm learning a lot just by hearing you speak, and there's definitely some adjustments
Yeah,
I can
because
throw
I think
into my life.
he's gonna learn. He's gonna have to learn what I think you learned too, because he's very like a go-getter, hard ass.
Yeah, I know what I'm capable of achieving on a daily basis, so I hold people to a higher standard only because I know what is possible and what is doable. So I find myself getting let down a lot by people's performances.
Yeah.
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 I've let him down a few times.
But
It's everyone. I don't even perform as good as I want to perform. I could do more. I could work more.
Yeah.
But
but that's a great quality though. Like,
yeah.
You set a standard high, that's a great quality of a leader.
For sure.
So you set a high standard, right?
Yeah.
And you set it for yourself and you submit for others. Just know that like one day, like they may be a little bit more on it than you, right? So again, that's where it comes like for me, or I think it's going to the benefit of the doubt portion of it. Like,
right.
Hey man, like you did your best. And then
for sure.
Asking permission is another good one. Like when you ask someone, hey, can I give you permission? Do I have your permission to give you some feedback, right? And if they say yes, it opens up an opportunity to have that conversation. Like, I think you could have done this better if you did this, right?
Right.
It takes them off guard. If you just say, man, like that was shit. Like you can go back and do better, right?
Yeah.
But see how the difference is?
It's kind of my approach, so I should probably ask permission before I shit on people.
Can I ask you permission to give you some feedback about that last set?
Yeah.
And it kind of like, and when they say yeah, it's like it's disengaged, right? They all of a sudden they come down like they're not armed.
Yeah.
If you jump right into someone, because I do this all the time. I have to hone it in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when I ask permission, I notice we get further. When I don't ask permission, I just throw up on people.
Yeah.
It gets worse. It gets worse because I don't let it go, and then I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I gotta take a step back, ask permission, and have this conversation. So sometimes it's not in the same day, but the next day I'll normally apologize. Hey, I came at you wrong last night. I really, truly apologize.
Right.
So have some empathy, and permission is a game changer.
So you said it with the right intention, but with the wrong delivery. So it'll kind of eat up at you when you kind of think on it.
The permission is, like, honestly, anything you ask is key, right? Because it's not. You're not coming at them like with like a battle axe. You're coming at them with like, hey, if they say no, just leave it, right? It's not a no. It's just not yet.
Right.
So they'll ask you, when you ask them, they'll probably calm down like a little bit and come back and say, hey, what were you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
So my thought was at the time when you were doing this, I think you could have did this better if you did this, right? And I think what it does, you put your guard down enough to be open.
Yeah.
When you ask permission and they say yes, it's open. It's soft. Right? A football coach obviously can't do that. Like a coach, they're more on you. But you can be a coach, and that's the way that you coach. But you're in business, and you want to bring other people along with you. Yeah. There's also the gentle side too, right?
Right.
And the gentle side will come from like empathy, asking permission, right? Because you get a lot out of people. Like when they'll be side to side with you, and they'll want to build a business together, or they'll want to build a friendship, a relationship, but it's not always going to be perfect, and you're not always going to ask permission. You're going to throw up and say something to someone and people, they're going to get their feelings hurt.
Yeah.
But that's just the natural about growing up and getting older and experiencing it, right?
Yeah.
Because you have a great studio and stuff that you guys are doing, but people are going to let us down. That's just like life. Like relationships do it, family does it. Our expectations are high, and they deliver a par performance. And so instead of saying that's shit, like again, we don't know what they were going through in that moment. So they could have something happen to them before they got to your studio, right?
Right.
Man, so many different things in life that you really just have to sit back and.
Yeah. No, I love reframing the situation though, and how you're introducing the feedback, because it seems more genuine than like coming at it as a stance of disappointment. Like, you know what I mean? So that reframing is very powerful.
Leadership,
Yeah.
Like EQ, like I know we didn't really touch on it, but like EQ was a really big one for the last like 5-6 years. Like emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
and a lot of that they have a lot of books and a lot, Brene Brown, she talks about a lot of this stuff. But going into like leadership, you have to have those type of skills too. You can't always be the hammer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've learned the hard way because I was a hammer most of the time,
Right.
and didn't have that compassion, or didn't come from that. Just like now, right?
Yeah.
Because we want results as a dominant personalities. We want
Right.
results now, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do to get me results?
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that, right?
For sure.
So you have to kind of, like you said, like reframe the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think a lot of that, you can use that in everything in life, even with your
Oh,
parents,
for sure.
right?
Yep.
Use it with everyone. And I think coming from that gentle perspective, you'll get a lot further quicker.
Well,
I made a lot of mistakes. I could have been, I'm not saying that, but I would have been further. Like I said, when I got into management, right, I didn't know any of this. So I was the hammer. And like, who wants to always work with a hammer?
yeah.
Right? Like
Right.
every single day, it's something, right?
Yeah.
I can't satisfy him, so I'm going to go. He's mean, I'm going to go. Said like my qualities are like kindness, like always been kind, generous person, right? But when you're in business, some things you want to keep going. You want more, and you have to take that step back. So that's why I said earlier, if I had got into management and I would have came into management differently, I would have been a better manager earlier. But I was a horrible manager.
Yeah.
When as far as emotional intelligence goes, are you surprised as like being a man, growing up as a man, and self development, like the growth, the work never stops? Because growing up, you think, oh, when you're in your 30s, your 40s, you
Retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like growing up poor, like you never thought of retire. You always thought of struggle.
Yeah.
Right. So if you come from struggle, it's all you see is struggle.
Yeah.
So you think about is struggle.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do when I'm 60, when I'm on, like, you already thinking, you're in your 20s thinking of social security.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of job security for 30 years to get social security instead of leaving it all on the field. Like the greatest mistake, the greatest thing about youth to be like in your 20s, you have to screw up. You got to do, you gotta leave it all on the table. Because in your 20s, make all the mistakes.
Yep.
Your 30s, stuff starts changing. You start to dial in, right? By the time you're 40, you're professional. Mid-30s, you're super professional. Everything that you're talking about now is automatic.
Yeah.
And what happens is it clicks and automatic for you. Like, oh, shit, okay, boom. It's just like professional football players, baseball players, basketball players. The game slows down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you practice this every day, the game slows down for you and you see stuff before it happens.
Yeah.
Because you're asking permission. Hey, you have some empathy, but you also are driving, right? No, we're getting there today. This is the goal. We're going to create it. How do we do it? Through energy, positive energy.
For sure.
He's a big boxing guy. That makes sense why a lot of heavyweight boxers in their primes are like early mid-30s because their physical prime's still there, but their intelligence is probably the highest.
You get punched in the head that many times too. Yeah, boxing's a one-on-one sport, right?
Yeah.
So and like I like athletes, like military. Military is another one. Like, man, what they go through, especially when they're deployed or something like that.
Did it ever cross your mind? I imagine you growing up young, at one point you probably thought joining.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. You asked me something.
I said growing up young.
You asked me about favorite trip, and I didn't really. So my favorite trip ever when I was 12 years old, and I went to Fort Bragg. So my uncle Eddie was 82nd Airborne.
Is that in Texas?
No, it was in North Carolina.
North Carolina,
So
sorry.
Fort Bragg,
Okay.
North Carolina. So he was 82nd Airborne, and we went to go visit my mother's sister. My mother was married. My mother's sister was married to my uncle Eddie, and we went to go visit. And imagine being 12 and you're on. I've never seen pine cones like this before, like huge pine cones, and going on the army base, going inside of a tank, going inside of the armory. I wanted to be in the military, right? It's again. No education, right? You weren't going in the military without a high school diploma. You weren't doing any of that stuff, right? So I didn't see a future.
Oh, got it.
So I didn't see a future in military. I only saw a future in struggle.
Got it.
I only saw a future in surviving, right? And then opportunities came. And a lot of times people don't really understand what an opportunity is. Sometimes the smallest thing is an opportunity. So when I got stuck here in the blizzard, imagine the opportunity that blizzard caused me to go visit the company that I was working for in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And I went back home, packed my bags, and moved to Las Vegas. So the opportunity was the blizzard that happened.
Yeah.
That I couldn't fly out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was broke. I had no money, so let's go
A
see
blessing in
the
disguise.
company. So we're trying to kill time,
Yeah.
and I saw the opportunity. So, man, I think there's so many blessings that we get. We live like every day, and I've had some great experiences and some opportunities. And this is probably the most I've ever spoken to anyone about my life or anything that's happened or these conversations ever.
Cool.
So I appreciate you guys for
I appreciate you
listening,
for sharing.
right? For asking
Yeah.
questions and listening. Like, wow.
Yeah. Like you dropped a lot of gems and nuggets
Yeah.
where people can take that, and you've improved so many people's lives, not only by the gym, but even by just your words. There's somebody who's going to see a clip and be like, huh. I've learned a lot just sitting down. I'm like, oh, there's more people like me out there.
Fuck, there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
Struggle's real, man. Struggle's real.
You know what I've noticed? The more people we interview, especially young men, or obviously established men,
Mm-hmm.
they all love a challenge.
Mm.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most, people where I grew up, they were like, you just get a job, go work for the union, retire.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think of that path when I was younger. But, like having the opportunity to really sell. Imagine, I went from the 3rd grade. I knew what I wanted to do. Like, who opens up a pencil box and starts selling stuff? It makes money, right?
Yeah.
And I did that 3rd, 4th, 5th, like all through like elementary school. I did that all the time.
The Wolf of Rhode Island.
There's wolves there. I'm not near that wolf, but it was something that was like I did young, and I knew I wanted to do something, but never had an opportunity until it presented itself, and I wasn't gonna let it go. I called this guy's name was Al Green. I know it's, but I called him every day for a job until he hired me. Like every day. I said, hey, did they get back to you? They get back every day. I called this guy every day.
Damn.
Finally, he hired me, and and then I got in the office. I didn't know shit. I didn't know how to spell mortgage, right?
Yeah,
but I sat there and I listened and listened, and I got more frustrated because I wasn't doing anything. And also, I picked up the phone. I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Picked up the phone. It's not bad. Oh, I got one. I think I got another one.
Yeah.
Right. Next thing I got people talking to me, and now I'm starting to learn mortgage like lingo.
Right.
And then when I got the lingo down, then I start learning how to save people money. And then when I learned how to save people money, I created a value in their life.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I had to listen to all these people talk and use a little bit of what they all had for I could use it. Right. So I found my strength in other people's, like in their strengths. So I created a super strength that I had, and I became the top person in that office for well over a year. And then I came to Vegas from the sales trip.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I'm here.
That's true. Even the other person doesn't know you guys are working together because you're working off their strengths. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
This one guy was Pakistani. His name was Zach. This other guy was Mike. He was like the sleazy salesperson. This guy Don sat in front of me. He was super honest. So I got through. This guy John, super way. John was kind of hidden just a little bit. He wanted to keep it a little more secretive.
Yeah.
So you had all 4 of these guys talking, and I would listen, and then I just adapted. Right.
Wow.
So I found my way of selling.
Yeah.
By listening to them.
Do you feel like you always been in a Zerber?
I like to learn by looking and trying, right?
Yeah.
So, like if it's hard to say like I'm gonna go fix this, engine and not know the engine, right? Like
For sure.
But unless you sat around like a mechanic and you listen to him or her diagnose something, right? Then you can start diagnosing it, right? So I think you have to be a student, right? I think listening is probably the opportunity that most people don't get. And then also taking like non-paid internships. And I'm not telling people to go find someone to go not get paid, right? But like for me, like learning wasn't the money. It was about learning.
Yeah.
That way now all of a sudden I'm your painter.
Yeah.
I'm your guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm your it happened quick because I learned.
Yeah.
I listened. I executed. I asked questions.
Yeah.
And next you know, like they hired me, and I'm a tier 1 painter, right? Like
For sure.
it just happened, right? And that's in the mortgage world too, the same thing. And then when you take business, like it's always just when you do a business, it's always the fear. The fear is failure, right?
Yeah.
So I open a business and I lose, right? So I heard some years ago, like the samurai before they go into battle, they choose death. So before they go into battle, they're already choosing I'm gonna die. So what's the worst that can
no
happen,
fear.
right? So if you have the mind of a samurai in business, like, okay, I'm gonna start this business, and I know that I can lose everything, but this is what I'm willing, right? So that's where the will changes. That's why when you're young, in your 20s or 30s, like take those risks, like have the mind of a samurai, right? Leave everything on the table because you can rebuild, right?
Fire.
It's difficult when you're in your 50s. This is your years of saving. This is your highest incoming years. This is where saving comes in all the time, right? This is where it comes because I'm at a point where I don't need the Ferrari, I don't need the Bentley, I don't need the Rolls, I don't need any of that stuff, right? I know where I am now, right? So I'm in a much different place today than I was when I was in my 40s, right? So I know, okay, I'm in my years where I'm going to make the most money, I'm going to save the most amount of money, and I have a great future, right? And then in your 60s, it's all your effort. So now you're sitting back, you're not working as hard as you needed to work, right? But you're just working to maintain. You're working to keep your brain active, keep your body going, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're in your 70s, right? And you're enjoying. You're still doing some work. You're keeping your mind fresh, right? And I think that's it. Like for a lot of people, when they get older, stop moving and not that they stop thinking, but they're not putting practical like things in place, right?
Right.
So like, go to the grocery store. You're on automatic. I need food. We're empty. Like you look at the refrigerator. We need milk. It's automatic. You go to the store, get milk. Right? It becomes automatic. There's no change in your thought process of doing something different. So that's really where I see where people they don't want to change because they're so young and they're afraid of the future. Instead of living in the present moment of opportunity, create that success. And then, like as you get older, just know like, okay, so if you try to start a business in your 50s, what's the business, right? So you look at the business and now you determine from that business, how much money am I willing to risk?
Right.
Right. So I'm willing to risk $50,000 for this business. I know it's, it would hurt a little bit, but it's not going to kill me. Right. And if it doesn't work, or if it does work, it starts to take off. Now you're in your second career. Now you're doing so. Essentially, the gym is like my second career, right? It's a career of serving people, of helping people achieve their mental and physical health. Create that mental success for them. So really, the gym is a way of helping people.
Yeah.
Because again,
it's more purpose driven.
Yeah, the why, right?
Yeah.
I never knew why I opened the gym. I just met this guy. I didn't know why I did it at the beginning, right? But I knew it was COVID. And I knew mental and physical health was going on. But I did see opportunity. I said, well, this is a gym. But I didn't, if I had gone back, I probably would have done a couple of things different. But I had put a lot of money into this, like real money, like into it. It wasn't like put $50,000, put almost $2 million, right? Into cash into a health club to keep it going, right? Because I believed in it.
Yeah.
So my belief has never changed, right? But you get a little beat up, thinking like attrition, right? Like losing members, gaining members, losing members, gaining members, right? It's not the best feeling. But I think as more trainers come in and you start seeing great people come in and they bring people and it's becoming more of a community, more of a culture.
For sure.
One thing I've always been fascinated lately, I've been fascinated about in the power of saying no, right? So opportunities do come. Has there been times where you've had to say no to opportunities or to like business proposals or potential partnerships, stuff like that?
Well, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Well, there was a time in my life where everyone would bring a deal. Everyone would bring something to invest in, right? And you just have to know that not every opportunity is for you, right? So there are some opportunities that you look at and you may date. So it's like dating, right?
Yeah.
You can date the opportunity, right? So, if you like the idea, you can date it, take it a little more further, and think, wow, this is a really good opportunity, right? So you can date the opportunity, right? But there are things you have to say no. I'll tell you something that so. I don't like investing in things I don't know about, right? And I did that, right? And I lost years ago, and I don't invest in companies anymore that go public through a reverse merger. So I don't know if guys play in the stock market just a little bit, but some companies, they want to go public, and the fastest way to go public is they buy an existing company, so it's called a shell, and they do a reverse merger, right?
Yeah.
I've been involved in 2, and I've seen about 200, and not one of them has ever gone anywhere.
Wow.
I've just invested money into it.
Yeah.
The 2 people I happened to like, I put the money in. I knew the risk was there, and I was told not to by financial planners, and I did it, and I still lost. It's not that they were right. I believe that the person had a good idea, and I was willing to risk that little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
So the first one was a big risk. The first one, I was in my 30s. I lost like half $500,000 the first time, and I couldn't get past it mentally. Like I stayed in it for like a year. Like, I'm gonna sue this guy. I'm gonna get this. But I woke up like one day, and I called the attorney who was handling it. Right? Imagine I'm paying an attorney every month to get back money I'll never get. So think how foolish it was, right? So I woke up one day. I said, "Let me ask you a question." I go, "If I win, who pays me?" He's like, "Them." I go, "No. If I win, who pays me?" He's like, "Well, they would pay you." I'm like, "Well, what if they go bankrupt?"
Yeah.
Like, because if I win a lawsuit, they can go bankrupt, and it's not the government. They don't have to pay it back.
Right.
And he said, "Well, I guess nobody." I said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
So that day kind of changed. Honestly, that day right there that I said that, I got back to doing loans again, because I was stuck in 09 for a period, in like end of 08 and all like 09. I was stuck. I felt robbed. All these all these beliefs were no responsibility, all victim, right?
Yeah.
I was a victim to like the money. They scammed me, like blah, blah, me.
Yeah.
And then I shifted out of it. Like I couldn't get the money. I said, I'm done.
Accountability.
I didn't go back at them. I didn't say anything. I dropped it. Matter of fact, the guy saw me like one day. He got like white face, like I'm like, I just let it go. I just let it go, and I started making money again.
Wow.
Right, and I just started making, and I started tripling what I was making.
Wow. That's
But
cool.
I couldn't let it go, man. I couldn't let it go for over a year, and I was stuck. I was like numb, I lost like everything I thought, and like my world was coming to an end.
It's kind of like the power of forgiveness, just writing your losses. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gifts in pain.
Yeah.
A lot of learning lessons, and a lot of things come up. And I think, you like, if I didn't experience all these things, like, I wouldn't understand where I was at now, right? But once you get that past you, like, other opportunities, open up. And, I was lucky. I opened up a title and escrow business, and believe it or not, like, we only had it for like a little over a year. And my buddy Bill, real good friend of mine, said, "Hey, want to open a title business?" And I did it because everyone said I couldn't.
Was that the one on Durango?
Yeah.
And this before I knew him, I would see it.
So what happened was, we opened this title and escrow business, and I think it was someone said you can't do this, and no one wanted to tell you how to do it, but I figured it out, right?
Wow.
And I got it done. Literally within a year, like 15 months, we got approached to be bought. So it wasn't a ton of money, but we had nothing. We had no assets. We had nothing. We had a copier, and we had a rent. We leased. That was it. We had an employee who did the title stuff. Imagine, we sold nothing. We sold a name. We sold a phone number.
So funny.
Right, for like $250,000.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So the long play in the title and escrow company is grow it. Because the big boys they'll come in and buy you. The First Americans, the Fidelity, they're all owned by the same guy from the Golden Knights, right?
Yeah.
So our goal is like, we're gonna pump this up. But mind you, this was June of 2020 when we sold it. Like, 22. So there was like no business after. So the real estate and mortgage business slowed down tremendously in 2022, especially June. So imagine, we closed this deal, and then it went flatline. So so the person that bought our business was great, but but again, we sent business there, but it wasn't the same, because we weren't doing $20-30 million a month. It went really slow. So there was you see some opportunities, but I got to do a business with a good friend of mine, and I never sold a business before, so I actually sold a business, right? So that was cool.
Yeah.
So I've done some cool things, man.
That's cool.
Oh, for sure.
I was this is the last thing for me. I was thinking how how you hear the phrase, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I feel like some stuff with you has been a lot of gut feelings. What do you think leads to trusting your instincts, your guts more? Like, just failures, lessons, pain.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, because
I was just thinking out loud. I was thinking about that. Yeah, because you always tell people trust your gut, right? Trust your instinct. What does that even mean? Like,
well, I mean, luck. I'll tell you, luck
Yeah.
was like if you had the foresight to get 1,000 Bitcoin when it was 30 cents, right? And then you were fortunate enough to forget about it, and then you wake up and it's $30 million. Like that was luck, right?
Yeah.
Or getting in the right stock at the right time. It's timing and luck, right? Like I had a friend Frank who was early into Bitcoin, and like we thought he was crazy because he's an engineer mind, right?
Yeah.
And like you only hearing like you put money in, but you can only go buy pizza. You can only get like pizza or stuff like that, or you could only get gold change exchange for it. So I'm like, man, that sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, like I got no what. So I'm gonna put money in, and I get this number
That's
that
funny.
So I didn't see it, right?
Yeah.
But I had already lost, like I'd already been a part of a company that went public to a reverse merger, so I lost 500,000, right?
So yeah.
So even if I would have put 1,000, but I just didn't understand. I didn't know how to buy it. I didn't know any of that stuff, right? But yeah, that would be luck. But also, like if you're doing something, you always have a feeling. Like I told you, the spin bikes.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need to go buy spin bikes.
Yeah.
Someone came to me, wanted to do a class, said that was their modality. Like they would fill it up and, let's get bikes. And I go invest 30 grand. Now they're no longer doing it. Right. So you're talking like they say this and, the gut was, yeah, we can build something. Right.
Yeah.
Like I believe in this person. Right. But they didn't. Right.
Yeah.
So not that they let me down.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I still have bikes.
Yeah.
But now we have to build a spin program.
Yeah.
So we get someone to come in there with different energy to change it. Right now, there's a black crown around this person because of, I think, like, look, when anyone spends any amount of money to help you go further, you're going to have some type of feeling towards that. Like if I had, hey, bro, go buy this and I'll, go buy these bikes. I'll teach the class and we'll go 50-50. But you buy them. I don't have the money. Now you buy them. They're in there. I teach a couple classes and then I come back and say, man, I can't do this. I can't get the people. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now you're stuck with the bikes.
Yep.
Like, so you go right to like, but I said, well, thank you. But I can't get mad. Right.
Yeah.
So I just have to take responsibility. I bought the bikes. Now I need to find the people that could come in there and could teach the spin class.
Nice.
Because I don't teach it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter readjusting.
So man, like I mean, yeah. So I had a gut just recently, a gut feeling it would work out, and it didn't.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, we go through a lot of them. Like I
Yeah.
have life has been. I've had some amazing. I've had some let down tremendous amount of times, but I think the wins way out past the losses, the failures, right? The people that left or whatever. Like I think that like it was all great people that I met, had some great opportunities with spending with them, some time, some memories, some moments, right? But it just has to keep going.
Yeah. I just think we just have to realize the losses are unavoidable. They're gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just money.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, like you can lose time.
Yeah.
Time's probably the
Most important.
probably the one you feel the most worst about losing.
Yeah. 100%.
Like time is you can't put that. You can't get that back. You can go make the money back, but you can't get that time back.
100%.
Hey, let me get 2 years back. How many people are in that grave now would like to get 2 years back?
Yeah.
For sure.
Right?
Wow.
And how many people right now are so afraid to do anything that it's like being in the grave because they don't want to go do something that takes a little bit of time and energy, right? Because they're afraid of failure. So they'd rather sit there paralyzed than get up and do something.
Yeah. Like,
100%.
if you don't do nothing, you can't fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good stuff. That's
Cool.
really good stuff.
If you had to just pick one, like you gave so many gems today, but if just one piece of advice for anybody watching, just any piece of life advice, just one, what would it be?
I would say be kind. Be kind to people, right? And meet people where they're at. Like we don't know what people are going through. So again, you have to have the kindness and empathy and compassion, right? Because honestly, you don't know the person you're sitting on the side of what they woke up to today.
For sure.
They could have woke up to a phone call that their dad had passed away, right? And they're going through the motions, right? And then you're expecting that they're going to be top of their game. They're not telling you what's going on, right? So it's again recognizing when someone is off a little bit, right? Recognizing, so it comes with empathy and compassion, and then being conscious when you're around and with people.
That's
Fire.
good. That's good.
Love it.
That was fun, Derek. It was really
Cool.
that was good stuff.
Hey, I appreciate you joining us today. You gave a lot of value.
I
I
appreciate
really
you guys,
appreciate it.
I appreciate being here. Like when Berto was called me, he said, like, yeah, of course. I don't say no. If someone asked me to do something, like I wouldn't say no to Berto. If he asked me to do something, I wouldn't say no, because benefit of the doubt, whatever he's doing is going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Whatever he's doing is going to be fun. Like there's no ill intention. Like you know the characters or the people that you're around, right? You know, and the people that you want to be with, right? People that you want to be with, people that you want to share time with, people you want to do this with. There's people that like, and I'll end with this one. That I think one of the biggest lessons for me was carrying no hatred. So back in like 2000-ish, like I left all that behind. I've never hated a person ever. I have, my younger, before like 2000, had a few people, right? But man, I tell you, like, have no hatred on your heart towards anything, right? You walk softer. Like everything's a little bit softer, a little bit better. The problem is someone did something to us at some point, and we're carrying that energy or power of hatred, right? Or just like, and that will kill you too. That's negative energy that you don't need.
For sure.
But thank you guys, seriously, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Wait, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'll plug you guys, man. Like I did all the talking, man. I feel like I didn't get a chance to enough. Like I got this amazing studio. I hear all this, like you work with all these artists, right? Like man, like I want to know what you're doing, right? And no, but I want to plug you guys, man. Like what you guys are doing. This is awesome. Like your setup and doing this and sharing this with people. Like I'm sure you guys have great followings and have an old guy on just like me to do this. Like I have some years of experience, but I want to plug you guys for putting this on. You guys have me almost 3 hours, so like. It's been amazing, man. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We definitely want you back on so we could just talk more about economy, tariffs, and I want to let it play out a little bit more with what happens with Trump and stuff. So it'll be fun to maybe later in the summer we have you back on. We talk about the effects of what's going on. That'd be cool.
Divided you're right now, but we don't need to.
Yeah. More focus more on economic stuff, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm here. You tell me when, I'll be here.
For sure. Awesome.
You 6:30 or 7, whatever time.
He's not gonna see. To be fair, he was working. He was like, oh shit, I didn't know.
So I told you 7 to 11. But
it's fine. The funny thing was your wife came up to me and said, "Aren't you supposed to be
That's
somewhere?"
Cool.
Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll be back. So
we out. Peace.
Peace.